What would you think of me if somebody told you that I was a waste man? What would you think of me if somebody told you that I had no discipline? What would you think of me if somebody told you that I was a statistic? Ladies and gentlemen, please close your eyes and imagine. Imagine me sitting in an office at my school next to my mum, who had to leave her multiple jobs to come to the school and hear a soliloquy on what student Jonas has had beef with this time. But what the real question is how did we get here? When I was young, I was just like every other kid. I wanted to have fun, make friends, and in general, live a happy life. But subconsciously, in my mind and body, there was something festering within me which was getting bigger every single day. After primary school, after I heard a lot of comments made about me which I didn't agree with, I wanted to make a new me, be a new man, and be a positive representation of a young black male. But unfortunately, the connotations didn't change. And as every day I would go into school and the same experiences would occur, the thing that was festering and building within me grew bigger every single day. Until one day in 2015, it got too big. I remember it like it was yesterday. It was a day when I was 13. The sun was beaming outside, and I had just come home from school, and I was doing what I shouldn't have been doing, which is playing on my PlayStation. I remember every time that my mum used to knock on the door or put the key through the door, I used to dash my controller and shout, Mum, how are you? You good? While my PlayStation was making the beeping noise turning off. But as I was playing on my WWE 2K and I was winning with John Cena every single game I was playing online, I remember hearing a knock on the door. And those of you that grew up like me know that if somebody that you don't know knocks on the door, especially the fact that you're from South London, you better leave that door. You better leave that door. So what did I do? I left that door. But he kept knocking. And I don't usually get nervous, but I was starting to get a bit shaky, you know what I mean? I was getting a bit shaky. But then my phone started vibrating, and I saw Mum calling me. And usually when my mum calls me in between the time that I get home from school and she gets home from work, something's gone down. So I picked up the phone. Mum, I didn't do anything at school today. I was practically quiet. I was good as gold today. I don't know what happened. But she responded, Jay, please open the door. Well, Mum, I don't know what happened at work, but you don't look like a lean man with a cap on. You don't usually look like that, Mum, so I'm not sure if I really want to open that door. Jay, with all seriousness, please open the door. As I tiptoed towards the door and peeled the curtain, I saw a man with a cap over my neighbor's hedge. And I thought to myself, well, it was a good life. But I said, my mum said, open the door. So who could it be? So as I tiptoed around the corner and I could see the silhouette through my window, I slowly pulled the handle down, opened the door, and it was like I saw a ghost. Because my dad, who I hadn't seen for 4 years, had returned to England. My parents weren't together when I was growing up. And unfortunately, when I got to year 5, my dad had to move back to Africa. I didn't think this affected me at the time, but little did I know, it was festering within me and changing me, not for the better. I wanted to be a good man. I wanted to be someone that people respected and liked. I wanted to get the good grades, but there were certain things that I was missing, and I wish I had. But as I saw my dad, joy rained through me, and I grabbed him and hugged him as tight as I could, and I smelled all the Links Africa. We sat down for the rest of the day, and we spoke and chatted and caught up. We spoke about how I'm failing to move to girls. We spoke about how I don't know how to cook yet. We spoke about how Arsenal at the time were supposed to beat Leicester and win the league, but they did Arsenal things. And after that day ended and he went home, I remember I was beaming with excitement. I went over to my phone and told all my friends on Snapchat, my dad's returned, guys, my dad's returned. And I thought they'd be happy for me. I thought my peers would be happy that my father had finally returned. I had someone to look up to back in my life. But little did I know, is I set myself up. Because when I went back into school, I got all the comments. Your dad doesn't love you, that's why he went to Africa. All the comments. You're the only one out of all of us that doesn't have your dad in your life, Jonas. How does that feel? And even when I went to go tell the teachers what was going on, they'd say, so? It's not a big deal. Not a big deal. So you're telling me that due to the fact that people don't have dads in their life, they're 4 times more likely to be in poverty in the future, but it's not a big deal. So you're telling me that the stats tell us that they're 4 times more likely to go into prison, but it's not a big deal. But you're telling me that the stats tell me that they are more likely to struggle with their mental health, but it's not a big deal. To me, and many other young kings and queens, it's a massive deal. Absolutely massive. Due to all the comments I was getting in school and all the things I was seeing on the media and in movies, how people like me were being betrayed because we didn't have our fathers in their life, I grew so much anger within me and envy towards the people that had fathers in their lives and my own father. I felt betrayed. I felt worthless. I felt alone. Do you know how that feels? Because a lot of us do. I didn't even want to talk to peers in my school who had fathers in their lives because every day I'd hear them talking about their dads. Every parents' evening when I'm being grilled by the teachers, I'd see them go home with their parents smiling and happy. And I thought to myself, all the lessons that I've missed out on, the shaving lessons, how to talk to women, and essential male skills that I'm going to need to develop in the future, I missed out on. I had to experience pacing out everybody at sports day and not have anyone to cheer me on. I experienced having to play football in the park by myself because I ain't got the man I love beside me. And due to that, I would look at them every single day and think to myself, you have what I wish I had, but don't think I could ever have. As I got older and I started to do more voluntary work, as I left secondary school, I decided that I need to start making the choices and taking initiative to be the man I want to be. And I was making progress, I was developing, I was gaining new skills, I was making great connections and meeting amazing people. I remember the mentor that I had the pleasure of having when I was 17 sat me down one day. Now, I used to go to his office actually, and probably 2-3 times a week, we'd work from dusk till dawn on projects. I was looking for an apprenticeship, he was setting up his business and working on the charity that he was a volunteer for, and we were doing amazing work. He taught me so many lessons which are valuable to me in life, and I use and remember every single day. And I remember one day in the summer when I came back from America after doing a speech, he sat me down and I brought up my father and how I wish I had him beside me and how other people are lucky because they have him. And then he said, Jonas, let's have a chat. For a while, we spoke about our experience with fatherhood and what his dad did to him and all this kind of stuff like that. And at that point, I had to take a hard look in the mirror and I said to myself, if he's been through what he's been through with his dad, which is much worse than what you've been through, Jonas Andrew Phillip, how dare you neglect your father? A man that was texting you to see how you was. A man that got you a new phone so he could call you to see how you was. A man that when he came back to England would always make an effort to come and see you, whether it was once, twice, or whatever. It's up to you now to make the decision to make the relationship that you weren't gifted. And I'm proud that due to that conversation, I made the decision to make me and my father best friends. And nowadays, I go to his house on the weekend, we watch the football together, we cook together. You guys should see us at buffets. At buffets, me and my dad devour. We even had to get kicked out one time. That's how you know it's crazy. How are you getting kicked out of a buffet? What are you? I realized that all of that anger I had and envy was justified. But it's up to me to make the positive decision to make myself better. Not only for me, but for my family, friends, and other young people and adults that grew up without their fathers too. Now, if I'm completely honest, there have been so many solutions in my mind that I've wanted to share with a lot of people, and I've had these conversations, but people haven't wanted to listen to me. But now that I'm standing on this red dot in my hometown of Lewisham, I've got some solutions that I like to share. However, take it with a grain of salt, because everybody is different. This is my perspective, so other things would work for other people. But the first thing I have to say is mentorship. In my humble opinion, mentorship is essential for anybody in life, but especially for the ones like me who grew up with their father in another country and not around. If I wasn't mentored, I don't think I'd be on the, whoa, what do you mean I don't think? I know I wouldn't be on this red dot right now, because my mentor was the one who encouraged me to take the leap to start public speaking properly. My mentor was the one that encouraged me to forgive my father. My mentor was the one that encouraged me to become an entrepreneur. And without that, maybe I would be that statistic that they thought I'd be. Who knows? But in 2022, it's time to make a positive statistic. So please, please, please ensure that you encourage these people to get mentorship and seek mentorship at any age, because in my opinion, is the key to success. Now, the second solution that I want to provide goes out to the people that may be watching this, or people here that grew up without their fathers in their life. And it's to see it as your superpower. You have a golden opportunity. Let me repeat myself. Golden opportunity to learn to take initiative, to learn the things that you didn't learn because your father wasn't around. To this day and for the rest of my life, I'll be teaching myself so many things for an hour every single day, so I can become the man I want to be. And now because of that, when I want to achieve a goal, I don't wait around. I go and attack that goal. I chase that goal. I pursue that goal because I have that initiative built within me due to me having to learn certain things on my own merit, whatever the age I was. You could say, oh, I don't have my dad around. I'm going to fail in life. I might as well already go to prison. Or you could say, my dad's not around. I'm going to make myself a king. That's the second solution. And the third and final solution is to break the cycle. And this goes out to everybody in this room, everybody in the world in general. Break the cycle. And when I mean break the cycle, I'm talking, don't come to people like me who grew up without a father and say things like, oh, I know he's 9, but you better start getting him ready for prison. Oh, I have a son, and I told him, don't hang out with those boys because they don't have fathers in their lives, because they're going to bring you down the wrong path. Don't go around saying, you know what, I had my dad around and I'm going to flex about it, even though you didn't have that privilege. Because what that does is continue to make that negativity fester within those people, because that was the driving force that made me begin to envy my father. And if that went down the wrong path, who knows where I'd be today. When I also mean break the cycle, I'm talking about mothers, please do not make your son or daughter hate your father. I was lucky enough to have a mother who didn't say things that made me hate my father. But I already grew envy with my father and was disliking him. So imagine if my mother sprinkled a bit of, sprinkled, instigated, as I used to like to do in school a lot. Instigate. Imagine if my mom instigated and said, you know your dad doesn't love you. You know your dad has all the money in the world, but he doesn't want to support you. She didn't do that. But if she did, maybe me and my father's relationship wouldn't be salvageable. That right there is extremely important. And the last thing I'm going to say is, and this might be very naive of me to say, but look after your children. There's different situations in the world I can't come here and say, every dad in the world, look after your kid now, or else Jonas is going to come and rain down terror on your life. I can't do that. I really can't. There's different situations for different people, and I'd be very ignorant to say, I don't care what's happened, you've got to look after that child. But what I'm saying is, at least try to be a phone call away, a text message away. And also, just in general, make them remember you. Think equity over equality. Everyone would say, oh yes, everyone needs a father, it's cool. But we can't do that. What we can do is give them what they need in regards to what they have in life, what cards they've been dealt. So whether it's emotionally, financially, or anything else, give them the support that they deserve. Now that I was talking about looking after kids, I think it would make sense if I talk about my future. Now, I don't have a kid coming, don't worry guys. I do not have a child coming, but what I do want to say is, at one point in my life, I didn't want to have kids. I thought to myself, how can I, who hasn't had positive representation of a father looking after a child, raise a child to the man I want them to be, or the woman that I want them to be? But I had to say to myself, Jay, you can either cry about all this stuff, or you can change your life for the better. You can go on YouTube and watch videos on how to be a better father. You can do online courses. It doesn't matter if you have to pay, it's an investment. See what you can learn to be a better father. You could ask other fathers who you respect, what do I need to do to be the best I possibly can? And that's what I will do for you, my future children. I will ensure that I'm there for you every step of the way. I will ensure that you watch this TED Talk. It could be when I'm dead. It could be when I'm still alive. But regardless, as long as I ensure that when somebody says that young person doesn't grow up with their father, so they're a waste man, that young person that doesn't grow up with their father has no discipline, that young person that didn't grow up with their father is a statistic, you give them the love and empowerment that they deserve every single day. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been the Waste Man to Winner, Jonas and Phillip. Thank you for the TED Talk.